Close enough. All right, now we're here to the whole point of the expedition. Oh, got just sticking out. Okay, so we got these rubbers here. The reason being, the other rubber that I got, it's only 4 inches, right? The wall here is more than 4 inches tall. Wall trim that you can buy, the biggest, at least at the Home Depot, is 4 inches, right? Not that 4 inches is anything to scoff at. Yeah, so I need a bit bigger of a rubber there to get this to work. So that's where these come in. So I'm going to be gluing them on the wall right now and teaching you how to do that. So the first thing you want to do here is crudely place your rubber where you're going to be putting her. In this case, oh yeah, and I've been putting them on with the ribbed side out. I mean in, giggity. That's just for the simple reason that that's the first thing that well, you know, there is no reason, all right? For better adhesion. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just going to jam that under. No, I'm not going to jam that under. We're just going to put that in like that. And then we're going to pinch it where we want it. And then I'm going to make a little cut there just so that looks about right. I'm not going to cut the whole thing down with the scissors there because it'll be crooked as hell. Don't have any skills in that department. Anyway, I'm going to go cut it and I'll be back. All right, so we're back. It was actually pretty successful. As you can see, it's pretty straight. So we got this little rig. Picked this guy up. I think it was $5. And then however much these are, no one knows. I guess the bank account's going to be worrying about that. So I was already gluing earlier. And so this is on there all hardened. You don't want that. But I busted it off and now it's working fine. So I'm just going to run a bead, an excessive amount of glue on here because you don't really know how to read instructions that well. That's not a problem usually, but in this case, it's going to leave some overspray, which you'll see later. So I'm just giving her a little design here. This is probably way too much, whatever. Leave it in the comments below if I've annoyed you with the amount I've used. Just anybody, please just comment. So we got her on there now. Flip it to the right side that we want, and we're just going to jam her right in there. Now, I purposely made this really well done so that you can see that it... okay. I purposely made this really a good right angle. That's what I'm trying to say. Purposely made it a right angle so that this will line up well and will give me a good starting point for keeping this in the right angle. So now this is a little roller rig that I picked up from the Home Depot today. Bought a lot of tools and it's fantastic. I must say, easily one of the best tools for doing this. I tried doing, or well, I didn't try. I did the one over there on the back wall, obviously the one that's going to be hidden. I did that one first as a test trial run, as it were. I did that one by hand. That was just brutal. So now we're just rolling her on. You can hear all the excessive glue all popping out in all directions. That was to be expected. Don't even bother trying to do this if you got bad knees. I mean, I don't really have that bad of knees and it's really not great. It's quite painful, in fact, to always be crouching on the ground on cement. Do what Limp Bizkit told you, right? Gotta keep rolling her. Make sure you get a bunch of glue on the handle because you touch the gun with her. No big deal, just wipe her off. All right, our first step is done. Continue that all the way down, so I'll get back at you when I'm done that. All right, so I've got a few of them done here. It's looking a whole lot better than the other side. Figured I would show you because it's super important to wipe the glue off of there. If you don't, you're gonna end up looking like a mess. Not really sure why I was stuck in that angle. Back probably stopped working there for a sec. Anyway, I want to show you this too. The other bottom part's gonna cover that, so I put that top part to cover there. And again, the whole purpose of this little escapade is to make sure that I can pressure wash the floor and not have any problems, right? You don't really want to be having like water getting up underneath the drywall or nothing like that. So, all right, how's that angle for you? At this point, your garage is just going to be covered in dust and other unsavories. Every time you put anything on the ground, you're going to get a bunch of dust all over your rig, whatever the rig may be. As you may have learned in grade 5, if you have debris in your glue, it doesn't stick as well, if at all, depending on the situation. So, glue gun. I've been getting better at doing these beads here, so it's not major globulin coming out of the end there, but still quite a bit, because obviously I'm an amateur. So you're just going to run a little maneuver as such. And you don't want to get too close to the edge or you're going to be globulin everywhere. You're going to be the green globulin. Just run a little bead down the middle too, because it's such a large rig, you don't really want her to be having a problem on you. Then when you're done, hit the back here, takes off the pressure. Still going to leak out of there for some reason. So I've been overlapping them a bit, and the reason for that is it's impossible to get them level without a level there, so just kind of cheating a little bit by overlapping them so it looks as though it's level when it's actually not at all. So first press, lean back like Fat Joe, and kind of just give her a light tack there, because once you squish her on, it becomes a lot more difficult to fix any Frigups for those whose parents are not paying attention to them while they're watching YouTube. Okay, so now you take your roller rig. You just give her a little roll along the whole thing in various positions. What I've been doing is you just have a little bit of it squeeze out of the end because you're going to want to wipe that off, and you'll know why in a minute, or you won't because I forgot to tell you why. Either way, you're going to want to have a big one of these guys. It's my second one. Whoa, holy. If you get any on your little roller there, you're going to want to wipe that off pronto, as it were. Whoa, holy. Just because if you don't, you're going to be having a problem. The roller makes this 100 times easier. The guy at Lowe's, just because they didn't sell the roller there, is my guess, says, oh no, you just do it with your hands. This might be the second time I'm complaining about this during this video. It's hard to say because I've been doing this for a long time, guys. Long time today. I've glued an innumerable amount of objects to my body, up to and including, but not limited to, bugs, debris, paper towels, tools, and other such savory and unsavory items. Pretty important to know your limits and just push past them until an injury occurs. Still squishing her out of the top there on purpose, and you'll see why. I haven't forgot. Sit on the roller again. Wow. So I think I'm going to be doing these in a series of videos because essentially I have way more footage than I could fit into one video and have viewer retention or whatever the heck YouTube calls it, not just plummet, right? Because I mean, most of you guys are watching for the first couple of seconds. You see a sexy guy there on the thumbnail and you're like, whoa, better check that out, right? And then you get in there and it's just me, so you're like, oh, I'm out. Okay, so now you take your rig here and you squish the rest of her off while wiping and kind of rotate your hand at the same time, and it'll make it so you just get it all off in one fell swoop instead of smearing it around like a fool. I know from experience, man, it looks even more awkward the way I'm sitting on camera than it actually is. It's pretty awkward in real life. But so here's that rolling action I was telling you about. I mean, there's probably better ways of doing this. There certainly is, because obviously, like you guys know, I'm not a professional in any sense of the word. I'm just a guy who essentially doesn't really like to sit still that often. So I find in makeup projects and various things, which by the way, check out my band, Poetry for the Hunt. We haven't really been making a lot of music. We're not even really a band, to be honest. My drummer lives in Vancouver and we really just make noise for attention. That was actually going to be the original band name, and obviously we settled on something much better. Okay, so if you don't roll or if you go too long, you get that smear action, and that sucks. Not that it's super hard to undo or anything, but it's just a struggle. But at this point, I've been doing this for hours and hours. I just don't really care. I don't have that same excuse on the other side there, though. Can't get it right the first time, right? Live and learn, live and learn. So basically, I've been flying blind, guys. To any of you, if you're repeat viewers, feel free to give me some suggestions on videos you'd like to see. Obviously, I'd like to grow the channel to the point that I could monetize it again. I used to just let you monetize it if you had a website, so I got around her. Not that I made any money really there, but it'd be nice as a side hustle, right? Can't do it like Dave, but he's the original Hoon, right? So the reason why you want to leave some over the edges, because then you make sure that you've got it right to the edge, right? If you don't have it right to the edge, you might not have a waterproof seal, which is the whole point of this. He says for the 100th time. Running out of things to talk about, guys. Just kidding. Doing the final touches here. Got my pretty head in there. This hat has been being used for the entirety of the project, and I'm talking like from the start of the insulation and stuff. It's pretty messy. Pretty nasty stuff. Okay, so that's how you do them. I got one more, and then I'm going to be rolling the final trim them down. So okay, whatever that was. All right, so we've got them all installed here. This is just the first layer, remember. The other layer wasn't high enough, if you remember. I may have said that like 300 times, but nonetheless, okay, I'm underneath the camera now. I haven't disappeared, so don't panic. Just looking for a tool in this tornado of a mess here. Make sure you got a pretty good rig here for measuring. And what you're gonna wanna do is measure the distance, because just rolling out the final stuff, it doesn't work as well. Who would have thought? We're just gonna measure all the way down to the end. Trying to tame the serpent. Don't get excited. We hooked her into the bed there, the concrete, and we're just gonna run her back. If I remember correctly from the other side, it's about 238 inches. Not the size matters. Oh yeah, so it's 236, but there's about an inch and a bit on the end there. That essentially, I gotta cut out a section over, so we gotta account for that. Just making a god-awful amount of noise with that, eh? So now I'm gonna measure it out on that thing, and I'm gonna cut her, and we'll be good to go. Okay, I'll check back in once she's glued on. Like, favorite, subscribe. A couple of screws, a couple of 2x8s. It's gotta be exact or else the plan fails.